Welcome to vlog number 4. Topic, water changes. I'm Bobby G. Let's talk. Alright guys, one of my big concerns when I built this fish room, and you know, when I built the small fish room and then, you know, obviously I moved it out here, but one of my concerns is efficiency in maintenance. And so if we talk about water changes, if your water changes can be efficient, you're going to do them more often. You know, if you're inefficient with water changes and maybe you've only got a couple of hours, you might be inclined to just let it go. So let's talk about efficiency, and the first thing I think comes to mind is draining the water. You know, when we start out and you've got one tank, and maybe it's, you know, it's a small tank, maybe it's a 5 gallon, a 10 gallon, you know, you can scoop the water out. It's really easy. You know, but when you start getting up in size, you know, I don't know how well guys like carrying around 5 gallon buckets. I don't like it at all. It doesn't suit my body very well. So I have to make a system that you know, where I'm not hauling buckets around. So what I've come up with, I'm excited about. I was super worried when I built this fish room. You know, I talked about in my Let's Build a Fish Room video series, I talked about you know, not running plumbing behind the tanks and coming up with some fancy drain system, and the reason I didn't do that was, one, my tanks aren't they're not drilled at the back, and you know, one of the other big reasons was for me to have done that, I would have had to bust up the concrete and you know, run lines over to where the drain is. So that didn't seem like a great idea to me. So anyways, again, I'm excited with what I've come up with, and I'm going to pause the video right now for me, and I'll get the big red hose out and we'll show you what's going on. Funny thing, not funny to me, but anyways, you'll see later in the video, I talk about my battery dying, and so I sat down and put this video together, and this whole section is missing. So it kind of spoiled the flow of it. I hope I cover the things that I, you know, to continue that flow, I hope I cover the things that I had talked about. So we're going to make a run at this again. What I came up with for my big red hose is literally a big red hose. You know, I wanted a tubing that wouldn't feel like I'm fighting with a snake. Although, you know, as flexible as this is, it's you know, fairly rubbery. It still is like fighting with a snake. So, you know, I just have to coil it up nice, but it works really well. It's a 1-inch ID hose. I didn't know how fast that would drain, but I figured that'd be pretty fast. So let me, I'll show you where I carry on from this and what I came up with. Alright, my battery went dead, so I don't remember exactly where I was. I think I was talking about the ID size through the ball valve here. You know, water's only going to drain as fast as your, I suppose, the smallest hole size that you've got going. Anyway, so I put this ball valve here, and the way I start the siphon is, whatever that is, about 6 or 7 feet, it doesn't matter. I put another ball valve in, and I, you know, obviously I just got fittings, and I cut little pieces of pipe to fit in between. And what I do, you know, I got this big green rain barrel. I just wheeled it over here. I should have had it over for the video already, but that's all right. We can. All right. So I've got this big green barrel. What do I use it for. Some guys will siphon into a barrel like this and then use a sump pump to pump it out into their drain. I don't do that. What I do is I open this valve at this end. I open this valve here. I dip it in the bucket. Of course, there's water in the bucket. I dip it down in past the second ball valve. I close both ball valves. I don't have to worry about the floor in this room because it's concrete. I painted it, and there we go. We're ready to siphon. So I also wanted, and just so you can see, I mean, it is a bit of a snake, like I said. So rotating it is a bit difficult, but I can rotate this, and it spins in this barbed fitting. The hose would just spin on it, so that's good. I mean, it's a super tight fit. That hose is never coming off of there. But I can just rotate it to suit whatever tank I'm working on. And then the next part is I want to be I want to be safe with my fish. I don't want to suck them up into the hose and down the drain. And so what I came up with there is just a 3/4 inch PVC pipe and a coupling, and then a reducer that just fits a standard guard. I don't know what these are called, sorry. But anyways, fits in there nice and snug. I don't suck up any fish with that, and it's awesome. The other thing I do also is, of course, my tanks are, you know, not all, but there's different depths of the tanks. And so what I do, I want to make sure I'm not, you know, ever draining more than 70 or 80% of the water. Ideally, I do 50, 60%. But I didn't glue this joint here, and I just rotate it. I say, okay, well, that's the depth I want to siphon water out to, no more than that. And then I try to keep an eye on it before it gets down to here. I close off the bottom ball valve first, then the top. That traps the water in this section. And I pull this out. I put it in my pail with chlorine in it. Put it in fresh water. Bang, ready to go again. So this works awesome. I can show you. Let me show you how well it works. All right. So I'm going to start that siphon. I'm going to start draining it, and I'll try to jibber jabber about things while it's draining to, you know, hopefully keep your interest. But we'll check how fast this is. I'm pretty sure I timed it at about 10 gallons a minute, and that's fast enough for me. Let's get my timer open here. It'll be easy to time on the video because we can just track it there. Stopwatch, start. Okay, let's open the valves up. I always have to open the top one first, and then open that. Away we go. You might not be able to hear that. I can hear it draining through. Let me get you closer. Take the camera off the tripod. Get you closer here. You know, you can hear that. And here we go. It's long enough. I got 50 feet of it, and I just run it over. You might have seen this in my Let's Build a Fish room. Oh yeah, this room's not cleaned up. Sorry guys. Anyways, I run it over here and straight into the floor drain. Right. All I did was get a 3/4 inch elbow, 90-degree elbow with barbed ends on each end. I cut a piece of hose, and I mean, you can see the water rifling out of that. That's like, I don't know, I find that exciting. And you know, the key on this also is, if I'm draining tanks that are, you know, on the ground, like closer to the ground, it's really key that you keep this hose right on the floor, because, you know, if I have one raised section in it like this, that'll slow down your siphon rate. So just these little tips help me out anyways. So here we are back at the aquarium. You can see we're already down, this is a 75-gallon tank, so, you know, maybe we're down 10 gallons or so. You know, it makes water changes really easy, and that's what they have to be. So this is I don't know what to call this tank. It's kind of my my overflow tank, let's say. It does have some of my breeding stock in it. One of my Eureka Red males. Another Eureka Red. This is the guy that I use because I think he's the best. I've got another show male upstairs in my display tank, but you know, this guy is the one of choice for sure. Some of the other guys in the tank. This is an Asian Blaze. You probably know, or you should know, Mbuna Marcus. He's breeding these, and I think he's come up with an outstanding line of these. I'm going to put a link to his YouTube channel in the event that you don't know him, which would be absolutely shocking to me. He's got a fairly large YouTube channel. So, I mean, some of the other fishing here. There's my my yellow blaze lithobate. I call him an autopharynx lithobate. Some guys dispute that. He's line bred, and that's why he's got such a strong wide blaze on him. I use him for breeding. And yeah, and there's my Star Sapphire. He's coming along really nice. He's about, I think he's about 6 inches now, 5.5 inches. It's hard to tell in video when you're watching the video. It's hard to tell how big they are. This is my Madoka White Lip. I love these guys, and this guy's coming along really nice. He'd be about 4 inches maybe, but he's a sharp looking fish, I think. And then of course I've got about 4 or 5 super red marble convex cichlids. The one female's hiding down there in the pipe. It'd be nice if she would come out because she's beautiful. Alright, so you can see at this point we're getting close to 50%, and you know, again, we'll be able to tell on the video how long that took. I think it's super fast. So let me stop it there, because I think that tank only needs a 50% water change. Everybody's doing awesome in it. So I'll stop it there, and I'll continue. I'll pause the video and I'll continue it in a second with my final thoughts on this. Yeah. Okay. So as you can tell, I'm excited about that. Maybe it doesn't take much to get me excited about things. I mean, this whole hobby is really exciting. You know, how do I finish up on this? You know, the next step is obviously to fill the tank. How can we fill it efficiently, quickly? That'll be in vlog number 5, and I'll go over some of my thoughts, some of the you know, control tests that I've done, and I think you'll find it interesting. So you know, hopefully you follow the series and you'll catch the next video. As always, I'm always open to comments, suggestions, criticism, you know, constructive criticism. You know, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people's opinions and what they think about how I'm doing things, if it's helping them, if they think I can do things better, and that includes my videos. You know, in the last video, one of the comments was about the lighting in the room. that eye was actually quite dark, which I didn't realize. I hadn't noticed it on my computer, but in fact it was quite dark. I've made an adjustment in the camera. I hope this is better. I am going to work on the ceiling lights in here and try to make them a bit better. But let me know in the comments how this turns out, what the quality of the video is. I'm trying to shoot them as good as I can, and let me know, like everything. I talk too fast, I talk too slow, whatever. Let me know in the comments. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like, share it, which is important so I can reach more people, and subscribe if you aren't already. And as always, feed your passion, take the plunge.